Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today's episode I'm going to try out all the amps that I have here on the Boss GT core into the power amp in of the Boss Katana Gen 3. Okay, so what I did first was to use one of the presets that come in Boston Studio. I can put a picture around here that says specifically Boss Katana 100 watt. It's a combo that I have here, Gen 3, meaning that in Boston Studio from the GT core you can choose that specifically built for the power amp in of the amp. The thing is, some patches work okay, a few of them sound great, but most of them don't sound really good. I don't know what they were thinking. Probably they should hire someone to make those patches. Anyways, the thing that I realized is that no matter what settings you try to use and presets that come, let's say like Katana Return or Katana whatever, they're really not made with that input in regard, because usually it sounds bad. So I don't know how the process starts and ends when they're creating these patches to match the Katana Gen 3 power amp in, for example, but usually they sound pretty bad. There's like this two cabs that you have going on, right? And those patches are supposed to be designed in a way that the cab that's already there, because in that mode, if I use the preset Boss Katana Gen 3 power amp in, you cannot disengage the cab. So only in modes like recording or line out. So they are supposed to be designed taking in account that you have basically two cabs, the one from the GT and the cab from the Boss Katana. Now that's not a good idea usually, because two cabs, it's just a bad idea. And so what I decided to do was to pick every amp, put it in recording mode. This goes into the power amp in of the Katana, right? And then it's being captured with a Sennheiser E906. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera. Into Logic. I'm using a Scarlett interface here that has more than enough headroom. It's the 4th generation. It's a great interface for the buck. And so I'm going to test almost every amp. I'm not going to test the transparent and natural, but from the boutique amp with the cab off, because I think the best results are with the cab off. I already made 4 or 5 presets for my own. If I have the time in this video, I'll show them. So I'm using a Les Paul. Of course, these patches also would sound great with a Strat, but for now, just a Les Paul. So this is a boutique amp, and it's coming from the Boss Katana Gen 3 power amp in. The patches don't have too much gain. The gain is at middle. I forgot to talk about this. Every patch, the gain is at mid, and the EQ is everything pretty much flat. The only thing I'm doing here is cutting 10 kilohertz on the very top end, okay, and around 40 on the low end. So just a few chords. This is the most natural response I got from the GT with this configuration, that it sounds like real tube amp, right? That's all we want. So let's now move to our Supreme amp. Not all amps sound good. Some amps really need some tweaking, okay? So this is the Supreme amp. Everything is jacked, like I said before. On the neck pickup, if there was some sound. Bridge pickup. So then you of course can edit everything, like more gain, delays, reverbs. There's a little bit of reverb going on, not too much. And you can edit all that stuff, EQs and stuff like that, because there's no EQ active apart from the last one cutting 10 kilohertz. And that's a really cool sound. Okay, let's move on to the third amp. This is the maximum amp on the bridge pickup. On the neck pickup, if you guys listen to some noise in the background, I already talked about this in other videos, the fact that I have so much equipment here, there's always some buzz and stuff in the background. Anyways, let's go for the next one, Juggernaut. Let's see how it sounds on the bridge pickup. One heavier amp that probably would need more sculpting in terms of, you know, tightening up the low end, stuff like that. But anyways. On the neck pickup. It goes a little bit more into the fuzz side of things. All right, next one we have the X Crunch with the distortion at mid, and it's much lower in distortion. It sounds pretty decent. Now on the neck pickup. All amps are pretty much very dynamic to touch playing, you know. Next one we have the XI gain. And the guitar we're using also affects, of course, the tone. I know that for a fact that my Charvel that has like the stress and the JB combination pickup combo really has a different tone to it, and I really prefer that guitar for this kind of tone. But anyway, it sounds great. Okay, this was the XI gain. Now let's go for the X modded on the bridge pickup. On the bridge, I mean on the neck one. So the possibilities are kind of endless, you know, with all this power you have here. X Ultra on the bridge one. More scoop. On the neck pickup. Sounds good. Next one, X Optima. Kind of a little bit weird sounding. But anyways, Let's go to the next one, the X-Titan. Funny to see that the actual new amps are not the ones that sound best with the Katana Gen 3 on the power amp in, and probably with the Katana MK2, and probably MK1 on the return. I think they were like more tailored to their own cabs, you know? This sounds a little bit like it doesn't have a cab. So, not a fan of this one here with this type of connection. Now we have a Roland. Nothing to see here, very clean, very cool. Okay, next we have the Twin. Sounds really nice. And here I tested with my Strat. I don't know why, but kind of sounds better, I don't know. It's very clean and has a really cool bite. Really cool. Now we have the Deluxe. Also one that sounds great. Now we have the Tweed. Also sounds great, man. Almost all of them sound great. Now the Diamond one. It's not one like a Vox thing. I can't remember. All right. And then we have the Bridge Stack. A little too much top hand fizziness, but you can get rid of that. But it's great. I don't know about you guys, but different amps give you a different way of playing, right? You start to do some stuff that you don't do with other amps, at least with me, and with different guitars as well. I don't know if this goes for a slash type of thing, but probably is a good beginning. Great. Now we have the Recti stack. Usually I don't like the Recti on these units, but anyway, let's go for the bridge pickup. They usually don't sound very natural, but with this configuration, don't forget that you're using the return on your Katana. You're able to also use DQ and other extra effects, but I don't want any of that. Just want to rely on the GT core. So everything is bypassed straight into the power amp. But here you can dial up probably a pretty good tone. It is even a little bit lower in volume. So you'll leave this one for Maybe a patch I'll make. Now we have a match. Less. Very close, but I can EQ that. Okay, we have big combo. Some of them are lower in volume, like this one. Let me try to compensate here just for a bit. All right, let's go for the next one. Orange stack. This one's a lower volume, man. Next one we have the Bogner. With a different guitar and more of a tweak-sing, this will sound great, for sure. Then we have the last one, doesn't matter because it's natural bass. By the way, if you guys gonna go for the first one, I didn't think they were important, but anyway, the transparent one sounds like this. Like very transparent. And the next one is the natural. Which are great amps. If you push the gainers and add distortion pedal, they sound really great. Okay guys, so these were all the amps from the GT Core and GT-1000 into the power amp Katana Gen 3 power amp in with the cab disengaged, as we talked previously in the beginning of the video, because as I said before, it doesn't really sound good if you use one of those presets and after that you cannot disengage the cabinet, because that's really the point. So if you do that like I'm doing here, you can get very good results. Already done 5 patches. I'm not going to show in this video because it's already too long. The next video I'm going to do those patches and create a pack exclusively, how do you say that word? Well, anyways, from the Boss GT and Gen 3 or Katana MK2, okay? So many thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Many of you don't subscribe. I don't know why, it's free. I try to subscribe to anyone that subscribes to my YouTube channel because we gotta help each other, right? And stay tuned for more. See you on the next one. Cheers.